Good day, Smash Up fans! I'm Luca Pellungrini from Italy, and I'm here today to show you one of my custom factions, the Yokais. I've been playing card and board games since I was a child, and now, years later, I've taken interest in the world of game design. I've also been playing and enjoying Smash Up since the literal day it came out here in Italy, and as such I like to think of myself as an early adopter. After a few matches, the modular nature of the game totally drew me in, igniting my passion for game design and bringing me to make over 15 custom factions. Some quite terrible in hindsight, some quite decent, and today I'd like to show you one. Also, excuse my pronunciation, neither English nor Japanese are my first languages. So, other than game design and medicine, and that is what I study, other passions of mine are mythology, folklore, and literature, and anything that involves stories from around the world. Smash Up already has some factions based around folklore, or mythological creatures such as dragons, mythic Greeks, and etc., and now new ones have been added, with the latest expansion, Culture Shock. A group that's still missing though are the Yokais, the ghosts and monsters from Japanese folklore. And I already know what you're thinking. Oh, come on, Japan has already 7 or 8 factions representing it? Do we really need one more? And my answer is, yes, the Yokais as a group are too fun not to have around. On the other hand, Yokais are technically already mentioned in Smash Up, in the samurai card Yokai Attack, where they are represented by the Itty Critters. So my hopes of one day seeing them actually turn up as real factions are quite high. But what are yokais precisely? Some of you might be asking. Well, yokais are monsters and ghosts from Japanese folk tales. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes and behaviors, ranging from small impish ghosts to large malevolent hulking brutes, from beast-like creatures to old wizened sages. They range from the man-eating oni to the Boruboruton, a mattress that wants to strangle you, from the mysterious Kyuubi, the nine-tailed fox, to the Umibotsu, a giant sea monk that will ask you for a barrel and then drown you in it. So, what mechanic from a design standpoint could represent such a varied group? I've thought about it for quite some time, until I remembered about a specific type of yokai, the Tsukumogamis. In Japanese folklore, an object that has been used and cared for 100 years will develop a personality, and a spirit, or kami, will start inhabiting it. However, if an object is mistreated, discarded, or thrown out before it can fully develop a kami, say after 90 years, it will become spiteful and will seek revenge against those who have mistreated it, turning into a Tsukumogami, being discarded and coming back from the dumpster with new malicious powers. That was my answer. My custom factions of yokais is then based around this, discarding cards from various advantages and retrieving cards from the discard pile, always balancing between building up a great play and completely running out of cards. So, let's start talking about the factions, starting from the minions. The 4 copies, true power minion of this faction is the Ghost Lantern, or Chochi no Bake. These are Tsukumogamis born from discarded paper lanterns. Their effect is simple. Whenever they would be placed into a player's hand from the discard pile, they can be played as an extra minion instead. This effect is meant to represent the ghostly lantern coming back from the rubbish dump, and it combos with many cards both from these factions and others. It can turn the Gravedigger into a 6-drop in a pinch, or with a fully discard pile, it can make a really powerful play with not enough bullets, across the Divide or the Yokai's own Great Spirit Festival. Next is the 3-power minion, the Kappa. Kappas are small river yokais that look like a mix between a boy, a turtle, a duck, and a monkey, with an inexplicable love for cucumbers. So, this minion simply allows to retrieve a minion's power 2 or less from the discard pile. This can be used to play a Ghost Lantern and gain quick advantage, or also to get back some useful minions, such as first mates, groupies, mimics, or most of the ants. Next up are 2 different 4-power minions, the true engines of the faction, the red and the blue Oni. Onis are hulking demons in Japanese folklore, and have different natures and powers depending on the color of the skin. The red Oni, or Aka Oni, and the blue Oni, or Ao Oni, are often paired together, one being brash and strong, and the other being more reflective and intelligent. Both these minions have similar and opposite talents. The blue one, once per turn, allows to discard 2 actions to retrieve a different one from the discard pile, while the red one does the same with minions, allowing to retrieve a minion of lesser power than the total power of the 2 discarded minions. These 2 cards also introduce a sub-theme of identity to the faction. Discard actions to recover actions. Discard minions to recover minions. By themselves, these 2 allow to choose what cards stay in your hand, at the cost of a 2-for-1, slowly and precisely building up to explosive combos. With the aid of other cards, they can form strong engines or point farms, thanks to cards like the Spectre, Invader, Shady Deal, and etc. Lastly, there's the King Minion, Master Dai Tengu. Tengus are powerful yokais that look like winged men with long noses. Daitengus are the most powerful of Tengus, and a particular Daitengu, named Sojobo, acted as a teacher for the Japanese hero Minamoto no Yoshitsune. This minion's ability speeds up the whole faction, allowing, once per turn, to play any card that would be retrieved from the discard pile as an extra card. This turns slow cards like the Gravedigger, the Chuonis, Grave Robbing, and the like into fast and little cards. As such, Master Daitengu needs to be dealt with swiftly, or the yokais will quickly gain advantage. So, these are all the minions. Let's take a look now at the actions. Starting from the two double features, we have Spiritual Channeling and Vengeful Trick. The first one, Spiritual Channeling, keeps the identity theme introduced by the Onis and allows to discard an action to play an extra action, and to discard a minion to play an extra minion. This card is one of the few in the yokais that allow for easy extra plays, and is also meant to fill up the discard pile with useful cards, like Ghost Lanterns or Tenacious Z's. Similarly, Vengeful Trick makes everyone discard up to 2 cards, slowing down the game and filling up discard piles. While useful, both these cards run the risk of completely depleting the resources in your hand, leaving you to the mercy of the draw. Next up, we have From the Other Side, a copy of the Zombies Grave Robbing, meant to be used here in conjunction with other cards like Master Daitengu. Next, we have Great Spirit Festival, an action that allows to retrieve minions from the discard pile with total power of 6 or less. This allows to retrieve a King minion, 3 Ghost Lanterns to play on the spot, or even as many mimics as you want. This is an extremely flexible card that allows many options, and possibly one of the strongest one in these factions. Next up, we have the Lucky Mallet, a strange item that appears in some folk tales. A bump with a small wooden hammer would perform numerous different magics, from shrinking and enlarging the wielder to producing any desired object. This action, when used normally, is a simple +2 until the end of the turn. Its special effect allows it to be retrieved from the discard pile once when another card is discarded, making the Lucky Mallet an ideal discard fodder for other effects. Lastly, there are 3 actions representing the Imperial Regalia of Japan, 3 sacred items that appear in many tales and legends: the sword Kusanagi, the mirror Yata no Kagami, and the jewel Yasakani no Magatama. The sword is a powerful power-up, giving +1 power until the end of the turn for each 2 minions in your discard pile. In extremely desperate conditions, with nearly all your minions in the discard pile, the Sacred Sword can provide a +9 or +10 to your last remaining minion, allowing for heroic comebacks. The mirror allows you to recover a minion when a different one goes to the discard pile from play, thus allowing, for example, to get back Kanoni when the other one is destroyed, or to take further advantage of many different samurai cards. Finally, the Jewel is the only play on a minion action of this deck, giving a precise power-up whenever needed, or allowing to use talents twice. This card is more meant to be used by partner factions, but it can also allow Onis to do double the work. As you can see, yokais are meant to be solid, powerful and completely centered around the recurring powerful cards, a swarm faction of sorts with discard pile interaction and hand control. The yokais, however, lack the ability to move or destroy minions, lack any special ability to be used when a base scores, and most of all, lack any card draw, making their high discard costs quite risky if not supported. The best factions to pair with the yokais are the zombies, due to their similar behavior and cards like the Gravedigger, Grave Robbing, and Not Enough Bullets. Other factions will be the Wizards and Time Travelers, for the strong card draw that can balance the yokai's costs. Other great but risky pairings are Ghosts and Sumos, both gaining advantage from discarding cards and having few cards in hand, and both having powerful cards to recur. Finally, I had great fun playtesting with the Yokai Samurais, thanks to the mental image of one last Bushi wielding a fully powered Kusanagi and claiming a victory at the last second. So, these were the Yokais. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, opinions and feedback about them, and if you're interested in any other factions I like making, just ask me on Facebook or in the comments down below. Thanks for listening and have a good day.